The small dragon hatchling pressed himself against the cold metal wall as a group of Trell merchants walked past. Rin had learned to make himself invisible in the lower tunnels of Harmony Point Station. His dark green scales helped him blend into the shadows, and most people never noticed the orphan child who lived in the maintenance levels. His aunt worked 12-hour shifts, keeping the station's air processors running. She loved him, Rin knew that, but she was always tired. Too tired to notice how lonely he felt. Too tired to see that other children avoided him at the communal eating halls. Dragons were supposed to be dangerous, after all. Never mind that Rin was barely 3 feet tall and had never hurt anyone in his life. He clutched his treasure tighter to his chest as he moved through the dimly lit corridor. The wooden object was his most precious possession, even though everyone else thought it was garbage. He had found it 3 weeks ago in the waste disposal chute, half buried under broken equipment and discarded food containers. The IT was some kind of flying machine, Rin thought, carved from real wood, which was rare on a metal station floating in space. The body was shaped like a smooth tube with a pointed front. There should have been wings. He could see where they had broken off. The tail section had cracks running through it, and one of the fins was missing entirely. But to Rin, it was perfect. The other hatchlings at the youth center had laughed at him when he showed them. A broken toy from the trash, they said. Why would anyone want that? But Rin saw something they did not. Someone had made this with their hands. Someone had cared enough to shape every curve, to smooth every surface. This toy had been loved once. Rin understood what it felt like to be broken. His parents had died in an engine explosion 2 years ago. He still remembered his mother's laugh and his father's stories about their homeworld. Now he had only his aunt, who was kind but distant, worn down by life on the station. Every night, Rin slept curled around the broken plane in his small bunk. He dreamed about fixing it somehow. He dreamed about it flying through the air, perfect and whole. But he had no idea how to repair wood. Dragon claws were meant for gripping and climbing, not delicate craftwork. And he had no money to pay someone to fix it. Today was different, though. Today, Rin had decided to venture into the commercial district. His aunt had given him a few credits for his upcoming hatching day, and he wondered if someone might sell him some glue or paint. Maybe he could make his treasure look a little better, even if he could not truly repair it. The commercial levels were bright and loud. Hundreds of beings from dozens of species crowded the wide corridors, shopping and eating and conducting business. Rin felt small and scared among so many people. He kept his head down and his precious plane hidden under his worn jacket. Shop windows glowed with displays of food, tools, clothing, and technology. Rin walked past them all, searching for something he could afford. That was when he saw it. A small shop tucked between a Valkyrie restaurant and a clothing store. The sign read, Owen's Repair and Toy Shop in several languages. Through the window, Rin could see shelves lined with toys. Dolls, puzzles, mechanical animals, and games from 100 different worlds. But what caught his attention was the young human working at a bench near the window. The human looked about 16 in Earth years, with brown hair and careful hands. He was repairing something, a small puzzle box, his face focused in concentration. Rin watched as the human's fingers worked with tiny tools. He took apart the broken mechanism, cleaned each piece, and began putting it back together. There was something gentle in the way he handled the toy, as if it mattered to him that this thing be fixed properly. A Valkyrie child waited nearby, with her parent, fidgeting nervously. When a human finished and the puzzle box opened smoothly, the child's face lit up with joy. The human smiled and handed it back, accepting payment from the grateful parent. Rin's heart beat faster. Could this human fix his plane? He pressed closer to the window, forgetting to hide. The wooden toy slipped partially out from under his jacket. The human looked up and their eyes met through the glass. Rin froze, expecting the usual reaction. Fear, disgust, or that careful neutral expression that meant please go away. But the human's face showed only curiosity. He looked at Rin, then at the piece of wood visible under the jacket. The human stood and walked to the door. He opened it and spoke in gentle station common language. Hello there. Do you need something repaired? Rin wanted to run. Every instinct told him that people did not want to help dragon children. People thought dragons were violent and dangerous. But something in the human's eyes made him stay. There was no fear there, only kindness. I, Rin's voice came out as a whisper. He pulled the broken plane out and held it up. I found this. It is broken. The human stepped outside and knelt down to Rin's level. He examined the wooden plane with careful attention, not reaching to take it, respecting that Rin held it protectively. This is beautiful work, the human said softly. Very old style. Someone made this with real skill. Can you fix it? Rin asked, hope rising in his chest. The human met his eyes and smiled. Yes, I can fix it. Would you like to come inside? Rin had never been inside a human shop before. The space was warm and smelled like wood and oil and something sweet he could not identify. Every surface held toys in various states of repair. Some were spread in pieces across workbenches. Others sat on shelves waiting for their owners to return. The human closed the door gently behind them. My name is Owen, he said. What's yours? Rin. The hatchling's claws clicked nervously on the metal floor. He had not let go of his broken plane. Owen walked to his main workbench and cleared space. Would you like to sit here while I look at your plane? You can hold it the whole time if you want. I just need to see it closely. Rin climbed onto the tall stool, his tail curling around the legs for balance. He placed the wooden plane on the bench, but kept both hands on it. Owen pulled up another stool and sat across from him. He did not try to touch the toy. Instead, he leaned forward and studied it carefully. This is hand-carved, Owen said after a moment. Probably 40 or 50 years old. See these tool marks? Whoever made this used traditional methods. No laser cutters or molding machines. He pointed to small details in the wood grain. They sanded it smooth by hand too. That takes hours of work. Rin had not known any of that. He just knew the plane felt special when he held it. Can you make it fly again? Owen smiled. It never actually flew. It's a toy plane, meant to be played with and displayed. But yes, I can make it whole again. The body needs to be stabilized where these cracks are. The tail section needs a new fin. And the wings. He paused, thinking. The wings will be the hardest part. I will need to carve new ones to match the original design. How much will it cost? Rin asked quietly. He pulled out a small handful of credits. It was everything he had been saving for his hatching day. Owen looked at the credits and then at Rin's hopeful face. Something in his expression softened. Tell you what, this plane is special. I would like to do a really good job on it. That means it will take me several days, working on it between other repairs. How about you come back each day and help me? Then we can call it even. Rin's eyes widened. Help you? But I do not know how to fix things. Everyone starts somewhere, Owen said. Besides, you have good hands. Dragons are naturally precise with their claws. I bet you would be great at detail work once I show you the basics. No one had ever said Rin had good hands before. No one had ever asked for his help with anything important. You really want me to come back? Only if you want to, Owen replied. But I think it would be more fun to work on this together. And you can make sure I am doing it right. This is your treasure, after all. Rin hesitated. Part of him wanted to grab the plane and run, afraid this was some kind of trick. But a bigger part of him, the lonely part that ached for friendship, wanted to trust this kind human. When should I come back? Tomorrow after school hours? Around 3 in station time. I do not go to school, Rin admitted. My aunt works, and I stay in the lower levels mostly. Owen frowned slightly, but did not pry. Okay, how about tomorrow at midday? We can start with fixing these cracks in the body. I will teach you how to use wood filler and sanders. Okay, Rin carefully picked up his plane. I will bring it back tomorrow. Sound good? Owen walked him to the door. Hey, Rin, take care of it tonight. It has already survived this long. One more day won't hurt. Rin nodded and stepped outside. He had only made it a few steps when he heard Owen call after him. Rin, you're welcome here. I mean that. The hatchling looked back. Owen stood in the doorway of his shop, backlit by the warm glow inside. He looked sincere. Rin managed a small smile and hurried away before his emotions overwhelmed him. That night, Rin could barely sleep. He kept thinking about Owen's shop and the promise of tomorrow. His aunt noticed his distraction at dinner. You seem happy tonight, she said, her voice tired but curious. Did something good happen? I met someone, Rin said carefully. A human who fixes toys. He said he can repair my plane. His aunt looked at the battered wooden toy that Rin always kept nearby. She had never understood why he loved it so much, but she had stopped questioning it. That is nice, little one. Just be careful. Not everyone on this station is kind. He seemed kind, Rin insisted. Maybe he is, his aunt agreed. Just remember that we dragons have to be more careful than others. People do not always see us the way we wish they would. Rin knew she was right. He had experienced enough rejection to understand. But something about Owen felt different. The human had looked at him like he was just a person, not a dangerous creature to be feared. When his aunt left for her night shift, Rin curled up with his plane as always. But tonight, his dreams were different. Instead of vague hopes about fixing his treasure, he dreamed of sitting in Owen's warm shop, learning to work with wood, creating something beautiful with his own claws. For the first time in 2 years, Rin fell asleep with a smile on his face. Tomorrow could not come fast enough. Rin arrived at Owen's shop exactly at midday. He had been waiting outside for 20 minutes, too nervous to knock early. When Owen opened the door, his face brightened with genuine welcome. Right on time, Owen said, "Come on in. I have everything set up." The workbench had been cleared except for a few tools and some small containers. Owen gestured for Rin to place the plane down. This time, the hatchling did so without hesitation. First lesson, Owen began, picking up a thin piece of sandpaper. We always prepare the surface before we repair. These cracks need to be cleaned of any dust or old finish. Watch how I do this. He demonstrated with gentle, circular motions around one of the cracks. Your turn. Owen handed Rin a piece of sandpaper. The hatchling took it carefully in his clawed fingers. At first, his movements were too hard, too fast. But Owen placed his hand over Rin's, guiding him to a gentler rhythm. Like brushing scales, Owen said, firm but not rough. Rin understood that comparison. He adjusted his pressure and found the right touch. The sandpaper whispered against the wood, removing tiny particles of grime. It was peaceful work, meditative. His anxiety began to fade. You are a natural, Owen said after a few minutes. See how smooth that area is now? Perfect for the filler. They worked side by side for over an hour. Owen showed Rin how to mix the wood filler, how to apply it into the cracks with a tiny spatula, how to smooth it level with the surface. The hatchling's small claws proved surprisingly good at the detail work. He could reach into tight spaces and make precise adjustments. Why are you being so nice to me? Rin asked suddenly. The question had been building inside him since yesterday. Owen paused in his work. Why wouldn't I be nice to you? Because I'm a dragon. People think we are dangerous. Are you dangerous? Owen asked calmly. No, Rin said quickly. I would never hurt anyone. Then people are wrong about you. Owen shrugged, as if it were that simple. I learned a long time ago not to judge someone by their species or where they come from. My grandfather taught me that. He says every person deserves to be seen for who they are, not what others expect them to be. Your grandfather sounds wise. He is. Owen smiled. He taught me everything I know about toy making and repair. This shop used to be his before his hands got too stiff with arthritis. Now I run it and he helps when he can. Where are your parents? Rin asked, then immediately regretted it. Sorry, that was rude. No, it's okay. Owen cleaned one of his tools. They are deep space explorers. They map new systems and study planets. They come home maybe once a year, if that. They love their work more than staying in one place. So my grandfather raised me. Do you miss them? Sometimes. But I understand. They were meant for the stars. I was meant for this. He gestured at the shop around them, making broken things whole again, bringing joy back to lost toys. It is my purpose, I think. Rin looked down at his plane, now with its cracks carefully filled. I found this in the trash. Someone threw it away. People throw away a lot of things that still have value. Owen said quietly. That does not mean those things are worthless. It just means people could not see their worth anymore. Over the next several days, Rin came to the shop every afternoon. Owen taught him how to sand the dried filler smooth, how to check the balance of the plane's body, how to apply a base coat of sealant. Each lesson built on the last. Each day, Rin felt a little more confident, a little less alone. They talked while they worked. Owen told stories about the strange toys he had repaired over the years. a Trell prayer wheel that played music when spun, a Velcari memory cube that projected holographic images of family members, a human jack-in-the-box that had terrified 3 generations of children. Each toy had a story, and Owen remembered them all. Rin shared his own memories in small pieces. His mother's songs, his father's bedtime stories about their homeworld's great mountains, the loneliness of the lower tunnels. Owen listened without judgment or pity, just acceptance. On the 5th day, Owen said it was time to start on the wings. This is where it gets creative, he explained. The original wings are gone. I have no template to work from, so we get to design new ones. He pulled out sheets of thin wood and drawing tools. I have been researching dragon flight patterns. Your people have traditional designs that you carve into wing membranes during coming-of-age ceremonies. Would you like me to incorporate those patterns into the plane's wings? Rin stared at him in shock. You research my culture? Of course. Owen looked surprised by the question. This is your plane? It should reflect who you are. Tears welled up in Rin's eyes. No one outside his family had ever cared about dragon traditions. Most people on the station did not even know dragons had cultural practices beyond what they saw in entertainment vids. I would like that very much, Rin whispered. Owen pulled up images on his datapad. Traditional dragon wing patterns, flowing and geometric, representing wind and fire and strength. Together, they chose a design that meant hope taking flight. Perfect, Owen said. Tomorrow we start carving. This is going to be beautiful, Rin. Just like you deserve. The hatchling could not speak. His heart was too full. For the first time since his parents died, someone saw him. Really saw him. Not as a dangerous creature or a pitiful orphan, but as a person worthy of care and effort and tradition. He had come to Owen's shop to fix a broken toy. He was beginning to realize that something inside himself was being repaired too. The wings took 3 days to complete. Owen carved the basic shapes from lightweight wood, then taught Rin how to add the intricate dragon patterns. The hatchling's claws were perfect for the delicate work, etching fine lines that represented wind currents and flame paths. You have real talent, Owen said as he watched Rin work. These lines are cleaner than I could have done. Rin's chest swelled with pride. He had never been good at anything before. At the youth center, he was too small for sports and too shy for group activities. His teacher said he was smart but distracted. Here in Owen's shop, his careful nature was an advantage instead of a weakness. Other customers came and went while they worked. A Velcari mother brought in a broken rocking creature for her infant. A Trell merchant needed a display case repaired. A human child wanted her stuffed animal resewn. Owen helped them all with the same patient kindness he showed Rin. But not everyone was kind in return. On the 2nd day of wing carving, a Kelvash trader stopped in the doorway and stared at Rin. You let a dragon in your shop? The trader asked, his dual voice boxes creating an unsettling harmony. Owen did not look up from the wing he was sanding. I let customers in my shop. Rin is helping me with a project. Dragons are dangerous. Everyone knows this. Rin is 7 years old and weighs 40 pounds. Owen replied calmly. The only danger he poses is to my supply of sweet crackers. He has eaten half my snack drawer this week. Rin ducked his head, embarrassed but also touched by Owen's casual defense. The trader huffed and left. Owen continued working as if nothing had happened. But Rin noticed his jaw was tight. I am sorry, Rin said quietly. I can leave if I'm causing problems. You're not causing problems. Ignorance is causing problems. Owen set down his sandpaper and looked at Rin directly. Listen to me. You belong here just as much as anyone else. This shop is a place where broken things get fixed. That includes broken attitudes about who deserves kindness. If someone has a problem with you being here, that is their issue to solve, not yours. An elderly human man appeared from the back room, moving slowly with a cane. He had the same brown hair as Owen, though his was streaked with white. This had to be the grandfather. Making speeches again. Owen, the old man asked with a gentle smile. Someone has to, Grandpa. Owen gestured to Rin. This is Rin. Rin, this is my grandfather, Henry. Henry shuffled closer and examined the wings on the workbench. His weathered eyes widened slightly. Is that my old flyer? Owen hesitated. I was going to tell you. It turned up in the waste disposal. Rin found it. The old man picked up the plane's body carefully, running his fingers over the repairs. I thought this was lost forever. I made this when I was about your age, Owen. Took me a whole summer. He looked at Rin. You have been taking good care of it. I love it, Rin said simply. Even when it was broken. Henry's eyes grew misty. I threw this away about a month ago during a cleaning fit. My hands were hurting, and I was angry that I could not make toys anymore. I threw away a lot of my old work that day. It was foolish. I am glad he threw it away, Rin said. I would never have found it. Perhaps things end up where they are meant to be, Henry said. He looked at Owen. You're doing the dragon wing patterns? Rin's heritage should be honored, Owen replied. Henry smiled. Good boy. You learned well. He turned back to Rin. This plane is yours now, young one. It has found someone who sees its value. That is all any creation can hope for. Over the next day, the wings came together beautifully. Owen fitted them to the body with small wooden pegs and glue, making sure they were perfectly balanced. The tail fin was replaced with a matching piece. Every surface was sanded smooth and sealed that on the final afternoon, Owen brought out paints. Last step. What colors do you want? Rin thought carefully. Blue, like the sky on my homeworld, and silver, like starlight. They painted together, applying thin layers and letting each dry before adding the next. The blue was deep and rich. The silver accents made the dragon pattern shimmer. When they attached the final wing and stepped back to look at their work, Rin gasped. The plane was more beautiful than he had ever imagined. The body gleamed. The wings spread wide with their intricate patterns catching the light. The tail stood straight and proud. It looked like it could soar through the stars. There's one more thing, Owen said. He picked up a small metal mechanism. This is a wind-up motor. Watch. He attached it to the front of the plane and wound a tiny key. The propeller began to spin, creating a soft whirring sound. Rin laughed with delight. Now it really flies, Owen said, grinning. Well, the propeller does anyway. Rin could not stop staring at the completed plane. This beautiful thing had been trash a few weeks ago. Now it was a work of art, and he had helped make it. His claws had carved those patterns. His careful attention had smoothed that wood. This was as much his creation as it was Owen's. Thank you, Rin whispered, his voice breaking. Thank you so much. You helped make it what it is, Owen replied. We did this together. Henry appeared again, leaning on his cane. He studied the finished plane with an artist's eye. It is better now than when I first made it. You boys have done something special here. The three of them stood in comfortable silence, admiring their work. Outside the shop, the station's artificial evening lights began to glow. But inside Owen's repair and toy shop, something brighter had been created. Not just a fixed toy, but a friendship that had mended two lonely hearts. Owen insisted on a proper presentation ceremony. He cleared a space on the main counter and placed the completed plane on a small wooden stand he had made specially for it. Henry brought out sweet cakes he had baked that morning. The shop smelled of sugar and vanilla. This is too much, Rin protested, though his eyes shone with happiness. You already fixed it. This is not just about fixing a toy, Henry said, settling into a chair. This is about celebrating what you boys accomplished together. That deserves recognition. Owen lit a small candle next to the plane, a human tradition for important moments. Rin, when you first came here, you were holding on to something broken, something everyone else had given up on. You saw worth where others saw trash. That takes courage and vision. The hatchling felt his throat tighten with emotion. Over these past 2 weeks, Owen continued, you have learned skills that will serve you forever. But more than that, you have shown me that the best repairs are the ones we do together. This plane is beautiful because we both cared about making it right. Henry nodded. When I made this toy 50 years ago, I never imagined the journey it would take. I certainly never imagined it would become a bridge between species, between generations, between two young souls who needed friendship. He smiled at Rin. You gave this old creation new meaning. Thank you for that. Owen picked up the plane and held it out to Rin. This is yours. It always was from the moment you found it in that disposal chute. But now it is whole. May it remind you that broken things can be beautiful again. Rin took the plane with trembling claws. The weight felt different now. Not heavy with sadness, but solid with possibility. He wound the small key and watched the propeller spin. The whirring sound was like a purr of contentment. I do not know what to say, Rin whispered. You do not have to say anything, Owen replied. Just promise me you will keep coming back. Not because the plane needs more work, but because you're my friend. I like having you around. I promise. Rin hugged the plane to his chest. Can I really keep coming back? Every day if you want. Owen said. I could use a proper apprentice. Someone with good hands and a patient heart. Someone who sees the value in things. What do you say? Rin's world tilted. An apprentice? Him? You want to teach me to be a toy maker? Why not? You have the talent. And I think you have the heart for it too. This work is not just about skill. It is about caring. About understanding that every broken thing has a story, and every repair is a second chance. Before Rin could answer, the shop door opened. His aunt stood there, still in her work coveralls. Her eyes went wide when she saw the celebration. Rin? What is happening? On sera. Rin jumped down and ran to her, still clutching his plane. Look, Owen fixed it, and I helped, and he wants me to be his apprentice. Sarah looked at the beautiful plane, then at Owen and Henry, then back at her nephew's glowing face. An apprentice? Owen stepped forward. If you approve, of course. Rin has real talent for this work. I would teach him properly, pay him fairly once he develops his skills. He could work after school hours, or during the day if he is not in school currently. You should be in school, Sarah said quietly, a hint of shame in her voice. But the youth center costs money I do not have. And he was so unhappy there anyway. What if he learned here instead? Henry suggested gently. Apprenticeship is a valid form of education. He would learn mathematics through measurements, art through design, history through the toys we repair. And he would learn a trade that could support him his whole life. Sarah's eyes filled with tears. You would do this? For a dragon child you barely know. We know him well enough, Owen said. He is kind, dedicated, careful, and creative. Those are the things that matter. Sarah looked down at Rin. The hatchling held his breath, hoping desperately. Finally, his aunt smiled through her tears. If this is what you want, little one, then I am proud of you. Rin launched himself at her, wrapping his small arms around her waist. Thank you, Aunt Sarah. Thank you so much. She hugged him back, then looked at Owen. Take care of him. He has already lost so much. I could not bear to see him hurt again. I promise he will be safe here, Owen said solemnly. You have my word. Henry cut the sweet cakes, and they all sat together, celebrating Rin's new beginning. The hatchling could hardly eat, too excited and happy to focus on food. His plane sat on the counter, propeller still, but somehow seeming alive in the candlelight. When it was time to leave, Sarah shook Owen's hand and thanked Henry repeatedly. Rin carefully wrapped his plane in soft cloth that Owen gave him. I will be back tomorrow, Rin promised. I will have projects waiting, Owen replied. A Trell meditation sphere that needs new chimes. A human doll that needs a dress repaired. And maybe we can start designing your own creation. Every toy maker should make at least one original piece. My own creation. Rin's eyes went wide. Why not? You have the skills now. Start thinking about what you want to make. As Rin walked home with his aunt through the station corridors, he held his plane carefully. Other people stared as they always did, but tonight Rin did not care. He was not just an orphan dragon hatchling anymore. He was an apprentice toy maker. He had friends. He had purpose. You seem different, Sarah said softly. Happier than I have seen you in years. I feel different, Rin admitted. I feel like I matter. You have always mattered, little one. I know, but now other people see it too. That night, Rin placed his plane on the small shelf above his bunk. It would not sleep in his arms anymore. It had graduated from a source of comfort to a symbol of hope. Every time he looked at it, he would remember that broken things could be made whole, that discarded treasures could find new purpose, that lonely children could find friendship in unexpected places. The propeller caught the dim light, gleaming silver and blue. Wings spread wide, ready to soar. 3 months passed. Rin became a fixture in Owen's repair and toy shop. He arrived each morning just after Henry opened the doors and stayed until evening. His small workbench stood beside Owen's larger one, Covered with projects in various stages of completion, the hatchling's skills grew rapidly. His careful claws could reassemble the tiniest mechanisms. His patient nature made him perfect for detail work that would frustrate others. His gentle manner put nervous children at ease when they brought in their beloved broken toys. Word spread through the station about the dragon apprentice at the human toy shop. At first, some customers were hesitant. But after watching Rin carefully repair a Valkyrie child's prayer wheel or seeing him gently fix a Trell infant's musical mobile, opinions began to change. The hatchling who was once avoided became sought after for delicate repairs. But something even more important happened. Other young beings who felt different or outcast started coming to the shop. A Trell girl whose skin patterns were considered unlucky by her people. A human boy who stuttered so badly other children mocked him. A Valkyrie youth who was too small for their age and faced constant bullying. They came not always with broken toys, but with broken spirits. Owen and Rin welcomed them all. The shop became a safe haven where difference was celebrated rather than condemned. Where careful, quiet work was valued over loud confidence. Where taking time to do something right mattered more than rushing to be first point one afternoon. A small Kelvash child entered the shop alone. She carried a cloth doll that had been torn nearly in half. Her dual voice boxes trembled as she spoke. "Can you fix this? Please." Rin looked up from the wooden puzzle he was assembling. He recognized fear when he saw it. Of course. What happened? Other children ripped it. They said Kelvash should not play with soft toys. They said we were supposed to be warriors, not baby dolls players. Tears ran down her scaled face. Rin climbed down from his stool and walked over to her. He was taller now, his body growing as dragon children do, but he still had to look up to meet her eyes. "I used to think I should not have treasures either. That dragons were too dangerous for delicate things. But I learned that was wrong. What you love is what makes you who you are, not what others think you should be." The Kelvash child hiccuped. Really? Rin took the doll carefully. "I will fix this. It will be even stronger than before, so no one can break it again. Come back tomorrow." After she left, Owen smiled at his apprentice. "You have become quite the philosopher. I learned from the best," Rin replied, threading his needle to begin repairs on the doll. That evening, as they were closing up, Henry brought out a small wooden box. "I've been working on something," the old man said. "For you, Rin." Inside the box was a set of carving tools, each one sized perfectly for dragon claws. The handles were smooth and balanced. The blades gleamed with careful sharpening. "Every master toy maker needs proper tools," Henry said. "These are yours." Rin's vision blurred with tears. "I am not a master. I am just an apprentice. You are more than that." Henry placed a weathered hand on Rin's shoulder. "You have brought life back to this shop. You have shown me that my old toys still have purpose, that my life's work was not wasted. That is worth more than any amount of skill." Owen added, "You have also taught me something important. I thought I was helping you by fixing your plane, but really you helped me. You reminded me why I do this work. Not just to repair objects, but to repair hearts." Rin looked at his plane, still displayed proudly on its shelf. The blue and silver paint caught the evening light. The dragon wing patterns seemed to shimmer. It had been the beginning of everything. "I want to make something," Rin said suddenly. "My own original piece. I've been thinking about it like you said. What do you want to make?" Owen asked. "A dragon and a human, carved from wood, standing together, holding a plane between them. To show that broken things bring us together. That fixing what is damaged creates bonds stronger than anything new." Owen's smile was brilliant. "That is perfect. Let's start tomorrow." Over the next weeks, Rin worked on his creation. He carved two small figures with painstaking care. The dragon hatchling and the human boy were both reaching for a tiny wooden plane suspended between them. Neither was pulling it toward themselves. They were both holding it gently, sharing it. When it was finished, Henry suggested they display it in the shop window. "Let everyone see what you have made." The carving became a landmark on Harmony Point Station. People would stop to look at it, to read the small plaque Rin had made. Broken things find their way to those who will love them. And in the fixing, we become whole too. More outcasts found their way to the shop. More friendships formed. The human boy who stuttered learned to express himself through toy repair. The trail girl with unlucky patterns discovered she had a gift for color and design. The small Valkyrie youth became an expert in mechanical toys. That Owen's repair and toy shop became more than a business. It became a community, a place where being different was not a curse but a gift, where careful hearts were valued over quick hands, where a thrown-away dragon hatchling and a kind human toy maker had started something beautiful. Years later, when Rin was grown and running his own shop on another station, he would still keep that blue and silver plane in a place of honor. Visitors would ask about it, and he would tell them a story about finding treasure in trash, about a human who saw worth in a lonely child, about how the smallest act of kindness could change everything. But the real story was not about the plane at all. It was about two hearts that had been broken in different ways, finding healing in shared purpose. It was about friendship transcending species and circumstance. It was about the universal truth that everyone, no matter how small or different or discarded, deserves to be made whole again. And sometimes, all it takes is someone willing to see the beauty in broken things.